You know when you hear that someone can see or hear spirits, and you wonder why this happens to some people and not others? Or have you ever felt some strange signs and wondered if it could be mediumship? Well, mediumship is the ability to perceive or communicate with spirits, and this can appear in several ways. And look, we all have a little bit of mediumship, but it manifests itself in different ways and intensities. Have you ever noticed that sometimes a person tells you something out of the blue and it completely changes your day or even your life? And that person didn't even know you needed that answer. Or have you ever seen someone in church saying they received a revelation? In fact, all of this is mediumship manifesting itself in different ways. Today, I'm going to explain a little about these types of mediumship and how to recognize some physical signs that you may have this gift. For example, there is clairvoyance, which is the ability to see spirits, auras, or other things that are from the spiritual plane. Sometimes the person sees figures or lights as if they were shadows. You know those stories about children who say they have imaginary friends or that they saw a relative who has already passed away? Yes, children are more open to this type of thing because they still don't have as much interference from adults' beliefs. But as they grow up and hear that these things don't exist, many end up blocking this gift. Another type of mediumship is clairaudience, which is the ability to hear sounds or voices that do not have a physical origin. It could be a clear voice, as if someone was speaking right next to you, or something more subtle, as if it were a thought that appeared in your head out of nowhere. You know when someone in church says they'd heard God speak? This is an example of clairaudience. And it's not just good words that people can hear. In some cases, the voices may not be as pleasant, which is very reminiscent of some descriptions of schizophrenia. Could schizophrenia be a mediumship that has not been well worked on? What do you think? Now let's talk about plumbing. This is the type of mediumship where the medium, that is, the person with the gift, serves as a channel to transmit messages from spirits or beings from other dimensions. Could be speaking, writing, or even making art. This happens when the spirit uses the medium's body to communicate with the physical world. Have you ever seen someone in church saying something like, "God tells you to say this"? Well, this could also be an example of channeling. And many of us grow up seeing or hearing these things, and only later, when we begin to study spirituality, do we understand what they really mean. Psychography, which is when the medium writes messages dictated by spirits, is another type of channeling. There are mediums who know what they are writing, while others write without having control over their hand. Many of the famous spiritist books you know, such as those by Chico Xavier, were written in this way. And we cannot forget premonitory mediumship. Have you ever had a dream so real that days later the dream situation actually happened? This could be an example of a premonitory dream. Many people have these dreams that show the future, whether clearly or symbolically. For example, dreaming about water could mean that a big change is about to happen. And you know that feeling of déjà vu, that you've experienced that situation before? This could also be a sign of premonitory mediumship. Each person has their own way of perceiving the spiritual world, and the most important thing is to understand that these gifts are there to help both you and others. Little by little, you can learn to recognize and develop your mediumship, and use this gift of spirituality to do good. Imagine that sometimes you feel like you have left your body, as if you are floating and observing everything around you from a new perspective. This is what we call astral projection. Some people during the pandemic even said that they saw themselves from the outside as if they were watching themselves, and this is just an example of what can happen. Now, let's talk about another interesting thing. Olfactory mediumship. Has it ever happened to you that you smell a strong smell like roses or even something not so pleasant, even when you are in a closed place with nowhere to get that smell from? This could be a sign. It's as if your spirit is picking up aromas that are not physical, but spiritual. Intuitive mediumship is that sixth sense. You know when you have a strong feeling, a feeling that something is going to happen? It could be an intuition that something bad is about to happen, and shortly after, you receive unexpected news. This type of perception is very common in more spiritually sensitive people. And there is also incorporation mediumship, which is when a spirit manifests itself through the medium's body. This can happen in spiritual sessions, such as healing, where the spirit uses the medium's body to help someone. But in negative situations, it can happen to those who don't even know they have mediumship. Have you ever seen someone who, when they drink, becomes aggressive and even hurts others? This could be an obsessive spirit taking advantage of the moment when the person is vulnerable because of alcohol. Often, these people do not understand what is happening to them and end up spending their lives causing suffering around them. This is one of the reasons why we need to talk more about mediumship. Many people are afraid of their own gift, especially if they have had bad experiences and been traumatized. Others may have been rejected, called crazy, or ostracized because of their religious beliefs. But mediumship is a gift. If you were born with it, it's because you have a purpose. And look, what you see or feel depends on your own state of mind. If you live in a negative vibration, you end up attracting negative things. But if you keep your energy positive, you attract good things. Now that we've talked about the different types of mediumship, let's explore some physical signs that may show you have this gift. You know that chill that appears out of nowhere on your arm, shoulder, or head. This could be a sign that there is a shift in energy around you, as if a spirit is present. Sometimes it can even feel like someone is touching you, even when you're alone, like a light touch or a firmer touch. These touches could be messages from friendly spirits or spiritual mentors, trying to communicate with you. Another thing that can happen is that you feel pressure in your arms, legs, or even the back of your neck. This usually happens when a spirit is trying to manifest. For example, you may be sitting quietly and suddenly feel this pressure. If it is negative energy, it can be uncomfortable, such as in crowded places or during meetings. And that's not all. Nausea for no reason, frequent headaches, and even yawning or tearing without being tired can be your body's ways of dealing with accumulated spiritual energies. Do you know when, out of nowhere, you hear a very faint ringing in your ear, which disappears soon after? This could be your pineal gland, which is related to mediumship, activating. And, in rare cases, more developed mediums can even make objects move. Have you ever noticed that sometimes objects change places without explanation? This is a sign that you may be messing with the energies around you. Understanding these signs can help you better deal with your mediumship and realize when you are being influenced by spiritual energies. If you identify with something here, comment on your experiences. This might help other people. Here, our goal is to enlighten your consciousness, so subscribe for more videos. Thank you for being here and see you next time. Before you go, don't miss these 2 videos that I've selected especially for you. They're packed with deep insights and fascinating discoveries that you'll love. Click on one of them and continue your journey of self-discovery and the search for wisdom with the incredible content that our channel has to offer. See you there.